I need money to do these videos, and while I'm paying that catalogue bill off, holy moly, is that a big one. I'm not going to be able to do other things, so in anticipation of that, I have ordered all the fiberglass material while I still have some bread in my pocket. After that, I just don't know how this is going to fan out. The aluminium idea can go right out the window because we can't afford that. So what I'm now thinking about doing is, well, here she is, upside down. So I've done all the edges. I've just got to put some car filler in just so I can create a better curve. But yeah, that hurt. That really hurt. Where are we? Right, the sides that I've got to build, we're going to be alley. I spoke about it. It ain't happening. What I think I might do instead is I might even just batten it out more than I normally would and ply the inside, hardboard the outside and glass the hardboard up. I'm hoping the hardboard won't get too saturated where it loses its shape. We've got hot weather, so it'll go off pretty damn quick. So if I put, I don't know what to do, the shiny side or the rough side, maybe the rough side on the outside, and then, well, actually no, I'm probably better off putting the shiny side on the outside. But look, I can only say that I think, because I need to reduce the weight a bit more, this is heavy, the star is now heavy. We struggle to turn that over, and it's only 6mm ply, real thin stuff as well. I filled up last night, so we're ready to start putting up all the glass fibre. I can't take the sheet off. We've got rain coming. Dinner time onwards, I reckon. The clouds are certainly coming in, but it's still ready hot. Thunderstorms and everything. East Anglia gets the first wave, and then tomorrow half of the bottom half of the country gets the second wave. So I don't know what's coming. But you generally can't make this up sometimes, the weather. Anyway, I'll explain why. Look, the catalyst is in. The extra matting that I needed, now that is 600 thick. I've got some 300 thick up there, I think that's what it is. I got the 6 because one, it was cheap, and 2, I can split it. Yeah, I'll say that's about 300, it fills it. Because this is not going on for strength as such, it's going on as a waterproofer to make it a little bit more durable when I slide this thing on and off, going past hedges, stuff like that. Not only that, the bed liner will stick to it better than just plain plywood. 3 days ago they predicted rain and thunderstorms. They didn't come. 2 days ago they then re-predicted thunderstorms and rain. It didn't come. Yes, so today I've woken up thinking to myself, right, we'll do some work, because today my foam filler's coming. Guess what it's now doing? Bloody raining. Still waiting for the filler, but I thought I'd just get, while we've got some sun, I thought I'd get this done. So I've drilled loads of holes. Now these are pressure release holes that I've put in, and there's sections going through some of these, but it's such a large space that I've had to put big 6mm. Now these are the fill holes, and they're the air drain holes and excess to come through. The idea being, you pull it out, you put the can in like so, and then when you see it spewing out of there, you run the bolt in and you hold the bolt there for a little while, keeping an eye on that from expansion. And then once that starts to really come out, you know that the areas are filled, you pop that, you leave that there, and then that will start expanding out, because what you don't want is this swelling and going out of shape. That's the point of it. But you do want it coming out through these holes. So the mistake I made on the floor was I sprayed it in and left it without bunging the hole up. So this time I've done that, I've bunged the hole. So this one whole side is drilled. I'm a little concerned about this one because I've got to go uphill, so I don't know. I've only put like one hole, but there's, hang on, where are we? There's one batten go through the middle there, so yeah, we'll see how that pans out. I'm not really sure. Yeah, that's what I bought. And unfortunately, I was a little bit over ambitious with how much I used. There was 12 tins in that, and all it did was that and that back piece and this tiny piece here. And the reason why it only did that is because I put too much in. I could have done it finished tomorrow, which is Sunday, and I actually do think while this is upside down or turned over, I will start thinking about getting fiberglass on so it's waterproof. The weather is perfect, the temperature is perfect. Oh, for fuck's sake. Get in! In! Oh, you little shit. Go on. He knows I can't get behind there. This is my little con. Gotcha. Right. That's where the biscuits are kept. Thinks he can outwit me, huh? Oh, I don't think so. Anyway, tomorrow, fiberglass. Once I've got the last polyurethane in, it'll take a few hours to dry, but I think we'll start, who knows, I might even come out tonight after dark and just shine a light and get this first one on, but I don't know, we'll see. I need to get the heavy screws out that we've got like there, but we literally just, no, we won't do it tonight. I need to sand it back. So yeah, I think we can start on Monday. That didn't quite go well. My resin is knackered, unfortunately. It's gone off, but boy, have I got some sanding to do, and there ain't any more. I actually thought I had enough to do the whole thing, but not a chance. I had to look for a 10 kilo bottle, and that's about 60 quid. So yeah, that's what we're going to have to do, and that won't be this week, unfortunately, because we don't get any more money for a few more weeks as yet. My catalogue bill has completely screwed me up, so I think we'll sand that back anyway, just to get it tidy. So I'll talcum powder my arms up, because stuff itch like crazy, and that is the trick to it. If you put talc on you, it closes your pores and stops all the fine fibres from getting in your pores. It's definitely reacted differently to the other stuff. I mean, the other stuff is really dense, but this is, I don't know, something, this just doesn't seem to be foaming up the same as the other stuff does. And I'll tell you, it finds every damn hole. Every damn hole. I'd love to do this for the walls that have got to go up, but I don't know. If I can't stop that bubbling that I'm getting because of the pressure, then it ain't gonna work. So if I push on that a little bit, you hear that hiss just now? There you go, fully insulated. So yeah, I think tomorrow, subject to weather of course, we'll turn this thing back over and we'll get the door made and the door frame fitted. Okay, we've turned it over. Tell you what, a bulge in that. Yeah, just as well I'm not fixing anything to that, unlike this side, because I want to get this door done, but I also want to get the hole cut for the toilet. But yeah, so we've got to cut that out as well today and take the door off the lorry that I'm using and cut the hole on the outside, and then we've got to batten it all off. A night heater, that just requires a hole in the floor. I'm not too minded about that at the moment. I've also got to cut some holes in somewhere for vents. I've got to vent it, you know, you don't want gas and whatnot sucking the life out of you, so we've got to do that as well. I chose oak. Fortunately, middle bar is a little bit smaller because I didn't have enough wood to take the middle bar out. We've got room for a window at the top, maybe one at the bottom as well, but I felt a middle brace was needed. Now I could, if I wanted to, which I don't, but I could put a second piece of wood on top, but I think we're going to have to plywood line both sides. I've got all that ply left, so I've got enough. It's 22 wide, there should be enough for 2 out of that if I get it right, and that will go in over here. So I shall probably leave that bar there, cut it across there, put some angle in there, and then 22 across, which will bring that door to here because we need enough room for the toilet room. So, and that will get my fat belly through that gap quite nicely. Right, so the plywood is on. I spray foamed in it this way for a change. We'll get a handsaw and we'll just gently cut that away, or I'll push it down and then put a little bit on top and then smudge it so it acts as a glue instead, and then put whatever ply I have to put on after, and then it's a case of sanding it all up. Plywood, I've got that. That bit, I tried to use that slide, I'm not impressed, not at the moment anyway. So I don't know if I've got enough. Depends how I go about doing it really. It might have to be done in stages, and it depends if I'm going to have this as the outside edge or the other, so we'll see. We've got to put alley over the top. My thought is this side, put it in with like loads of little bits because I'm going to be gluing that on top anyway, and then we've got the good piece on the back which we can sand back. You're wet, go away. Loopy animal. Anyway, one door, one of 2. So frame gets made on a sort of angles halfway up, and then I shall put in a second frame on the inside of that. So when I put the idea is when I put the skin over the top of the frame, the angle iron that's welded in will have a wooden frame fitted, and then the skin can go right up against the edge. The idea of the metal is one, I need somewhere to put a seal at the base, but strength to that rear part of the frame as well, and then there'll be another bit at the top that will swing up. So, and that'll have a lip that will sit over the top, and that's the plan. That's the best my thing can go. I've just cut out the hole for the loo hatch to make a decision where the door go. I cut the inner out. I hope I got that right, but I just wanted to point out the stuffing on the foam. I had a hell of a time trying to remove that. That idea worked. I'm really pleased to see that. Those multi-tools, I really don't like them that much. God, they're impossible. What a crappy hole. Anyway, we just got to trim off down here. I've got a little bit too close to that, but there's nothing I can do about it. But I've offered the door up, and there is a smooth transaction. If I take it off, take this down to that area there is a smooth transaction for the cassette to slide in and out of, whereas on the other thing, when I put it in, it's a little bit jammy, if you know what I mean. It jammed up from time to time. So I'm going to have to cut this one out just a little bit further, and then we'll be ready to slice in there and put some battens in. I mean, we don't even have to do that, because if I could get my hands on a frame, an inner frame, which I'm sure I can get, then I can close that area off completely. But it's just finding one. I know rain beat me, but I did get that panel cut out. And just to give you an idea, because I had my doubts about that spray foam, but yeah, it worked. I'm quite pleased with that. So yeah, I can't fault that one little bit. Sun has come out. Now I'm able to show you what I've done. There you go. So I took this off my lorry. Yeah, it needs a repaint. It didn't go so well the first time. That's now in place, so we just got glass fibre, and we have now ordered. The wife stepped in. She could see how flaming frustrated I was getting. I was going to line that door that I got there in that alley, but guys, that ain't going to work. It's going to look tatty. Although the glass fibre won't be much better, but once I get bed liner on everything, you see, that will change everything. So I'm just debating at the moment whether to go with a dark grey and a light grey on everything, or just go straight black and grey, like the door and all the other features that you get. Okay, so I've cut the wood, and I cut 2 pieces of angle to go uprights up as far as there and no further. Same on this side here. I measured the centre. I went 20 and 20, so that's 40 some, I can't remember what. But I hadn't got enough angle to go straight across this bit, which is what I really wanted to do. But now looking at it on reflection, that might be more irritating than it's worth. So what I'm going to do instead, and I know I ain't got enough wood, so I've got to cut some more of this, is I'll make a wooden step, and I'll try make it a little bit stronger than what I'm planning on doing for the walls. So these will slot in to the angle like that, and that piece here will sit on the back there, and the wider piece will sit on there. I've only got enough to do 2 uprights at the moment, so the third one, the one at the bottom, which is the important one, that might just be a plain piece of wood running across, and on the bottom of the door, because that'll be flush, I will put a piece of trim to undercut. Is really kind of where I'm going with it. So yeah, we'll see how that pans out, just to stop the water from getting in really. Anyway, I'm cutting them on the new Evolution saw that I got. This thing is a bloody beast. Doesn't do a double bevel like your average woodworking saw, but it does have a slide on it, look. So if you are using it for wood, you've potentially got a slide, but the blade is so big in comparison to your regular one that you don't need much of a saw, much of a slide. You get 2 clamps for this, plus a third clamp to clamp down on the top. You also get loads of hole points as well to put work into, so you can clamp it down that way. I mean, there's loads of options on this. This clamp rail here comes out, you don't have to keep it in place. And the best bit is if you remember on the smaller ones, you only get the option to undo the vice at the back and turn it to get your angles, whereas this one is just like a regular woodworking table, which I can't move because I've clamped it all down. I was rather hoping I'll show you when I've cut my bit of metal. But yeah, you can actually do your bevels a lot better on this. So this is actually, see, this is where I'm a little bit stuck with this one. Is your regular woodworking one, right? You've got a double bevel. That's as handy as hell. They didn't put that option on this for some reason, which is a shame, because if they did that, if they put a double bevel on this, you'd never need another work saw in your workshop ever again, because this would do everything you need it to do. I have a double bevel. It was pointed out to me that I'd probably end up using that more than I would this, but when I'm doing woodwork now, I'd probably end up using this because of the double bevel. It's so important. You don't get that with this. But if you're looking for something that will do anything and everything on the metal side of it, and almost anything and everything on the woodworking side, then this is definitely the saw for you. It's very, very heavy. I would definitely not be wanting to make that portable. So this would be fixed in the workshop somewhere. I'd probably build a wooden bench if I was using it regular, and cut a sinkhole in the bench so as the bench top is level with the workplace. So yeah, that's, I mean, the clamps are lovely. Actually, I mean, I could sit there and moan about that as well if I wanted to, but now I'm using it, I can't, because on the older ones you get the one clamp that you undo and do up, but that doesn't always hold. I've had metal fly out before. You get 3 clamps with this. It's a little bit more finicky to operate, but you get that one, you get that one, and you get that one. You can pull that out if you don't want to use them, if you're doing it for wood, but the beauty of it is actually you can clamp that half of the metal and that half of the metal, and you don't have to move the clamp left to right to get an angle, because you can do that prior on the turntable. So that makes this even better when you think about it. Clamps could be a little bit more stronger for when you're doing things like tube and angle iron, but you do get these brackets that you can slide on if you can get one that doesn't have a, because you've got little bearings in there, and one of my bearings is jammed up solid. I'm pissed off about that, so I couldn't slide them on, but the little ball bearings are spring loaded and they click into place, so that holds those into place. You also get yourself an Allen key, so it's always at hand. A very, very powerful motor. I mean, yeah. Just reading the thing now. I like it. You can lock the slide on it. They give you this little fiddly thing here, but if you slide that out, which you'll probably end up losing, you can lock it in any of the 3 hole stands that they have. So whereas the other one, you actually physically had to remove the backrest of the vise forwards and backwards if you were doing different things with metal and stuff, where that you don't. So no, that was also a nice little feature on this, the fact that it does that, it slides, and you can lock it with that. So I would not recommend you put metal in and then use it like a chop saw for wood, because that is, don't do it. Big mistake, don't do it. Wear ear defenders with these as well. That's imperative. But for a woodworking saw and a metal saw combined, it's a good piece of kit. It's very expensive, but it is a good piece of kit. But if I was using it for woodwork permanently, I would probably opt for that, unless I was doing 6x6s and stuff and railway sleepers. Then yeah, I'd have this, because it has got the bigger blade by a long shot. So this is ideal for real big heavy material, whereas that one is your average DIY workshop, take it out on, I mean, if you're a carpenter, for example, or you're a plumber and you need something at hand on site, that's ideal, because it's not heavy to lift in and out, and that is a very good saw. I'm now If it wasn't for the fact, look, if it wasn't for the fact that this doesn't have a double bevel, if this had a double bevel, this would be my main saw, and I wouldn't even be telling you any different. That one would be going straight back to the catalogue, and that'd be the end of it. And I'd be having that one permanently in use, no ifs, no buts. But it doesn't have a double bevel, and that's what I feel lets it down. You can go 45 both ways on the turntable, but if you're going to want to cut a piece of wood at an angle and then you've got to go into another angle, this is, you know, it just makes life a little bit more fiddly, whereas this one you can do that. So metal wise, definitely better than your average chop saw for metal. Actually, originally when I was looking at it, I was going to write it off because of the clamps, but look how many clamps are holding that angle iron on. It's not going to fly out, is it really? So for that, I think, yeah, big plus. So yeah, if you've got a spare 600 quid and you're going to upgrade, that's the saw to upgrade to. Absolutely, it's beautiful. It does more than your average chop saw. When I say average chop saw, I literally do mean this one. I mean, it has a stronger clamp, so if you're cutting thicker metal and you're happy to use one of these, then you go with it, because it is what it is, isn't it? But it's got a finicky little lever at the back, and it always clogs up with shavings at the back. You've always got to blow the shavings out before you change the angle, and it's just a nightmare. But it's still a good saw. However, the other one is much more superior. Shut up. So yeah, I fully recommend that one. I'll talk about that one later. Well, hopefully that's the last of the metal going on this, apart from the legs, obviously. I had to add extra cut because I've got like 1 inch on that for the door. So they left them as they were before. The door won't fit, so I've had to take off 1 inch each side. Hopefully now that door will go in. And I haven't made it too big, and there's a small possibility I have. Oops. Well, that might be a fraction bigger than I planned, but bear in mind I've got to put fiberglass around all of this anyway, plus the alley angle. By the time I've done all of that, I've took a good centimetre out. So yeah, the gap is probably about right. So that is going to be the bottom half of the rear door. That'll be all glassed up. I just got to put belt sander over everything, because where the screws were and I sanded it back, it didn't go so well. Belt sander will hopefully flatten most of that out. We'll bed line that all up if I can get away with it. I'll put a window in at the top at some point. I don't have anything here I can use at the moment, but that is for future, you know. So we'll drill some holes in the side of the angle and we'll glue and screw them in, and we'll pretty much go from there. For those of you who I never captured your attention, I hope now I'm starting to. So 2 posts have gone in. I'm now looking for a drill bit so I can rivet this in. The wood is warped really badly actually, but that don't matter because we can pull that in when we build the sides up, and then that will straighten that out automatically on both sides, so I'm not particularly too bothered. And I'm kind of looking at this thinking to myself, even if I do build that second stage, I should be able to get this out of the garden, because if I make up a couple of trolleys with some, I don't know, dolly wheels or something like that, I can ratchet strap those trolleys to the sides, tip this thing over, and then wheel it round to the front. And then all I've got to do after that is fit the roof piece, which might not be a bad idea to do it that way, because that roof piece is going to be exceptionally heavy in comparison to the rest of this, because of what's got to go in. So we will probably permanently fit the sides and chuck it down the bottom of the garden. I wonder what's going on here. Bit bizarre. Look at that. Hope nobody's hurt. I'm a little bit out of breath. Burning well. So that bunch of buildings is Old Norwich Road, and if you draw a straight line from that point to where the smoke is, that is where the railway line is, roughly, I reckon, in Claydon. So I would say, I guess, the local scrapyard has caught fire again. It's on fire. Apparently Sacker's scrapyard in, hang on a minute, in Claydon is on fire, burning like a good one apparently. I filled where I needed to. So that's fairly smooth. I've just got to put some pieces along here now. Should have done them yesterday, but I was so tired I couldn't do any more. But now that's going to delay me massively, because this stuff's got to dry, but it can't fall off, and I've run out of rivets as well. Well, I've run out of the... No, I haven't. I've got a few left. Just having sanded now. We are now just waiting for the time to turn that over. Oh, that's going to be heavy. And then I can start glassing up the outside edge, which I'm kind of... Come 4 o'clock, I managed to get this turned over and started the layup. 4:15, clouds opened up. Yeah, you scatty dog. Move that out of the way. So I've just took, I think it stopped, I just took the cover off where it's wet the most in an attempt to dry it out, because to be honest, the next panels to do will be that one and that one. However, I do need to get to this one as well at some point. But as you can see, I used a roller, and it's like brand new resin, and you can see the difference from the old muck to the new. It's much better when you can put a roller over the top. So the process is brush some resin on the wood, and then get your mat, put the mat on, and then brush over the mat until the fibres have absorbed the resin to the point where you can't see them, or have gone transparent at least. And then you get your roller after, and you start rolling, and that takes the air out and gives you a smoother surface. So when I come to put the sander over that, that will come out really good and will take bed liner extremely easily. That one didn't come out so good because it literally opened up on me while I was doing it, and I had to get it down as quick as I could, and that was as far as I got it. I've got to do a little fill in there, and then I've got to do down here and across. Fortunately the lip didn't hold, so I've got to cut across that and redo that lip, but other than that, yeah, it ain't come out too bad really. Right, that's cured off, and that's the kind of end result. This one panel isn't so great. You can see little white bits and you can see the glass fibre. They didn't take very well. This one also not so great, but the rest of it, I mean, that one came out quite good. So I sanded the edges. I just wanted to see how well the edges were joined, and yeah, I'm quite chuffed with that. So yeah, I've drawn where I need to. So I need to sand all of that back and redo that corner. That one lifted from the plastic. That one wasn't enough chop strand mat. Plastic lifted that, and again on that corner we haven't marked it yet, but that also will need sanding out. So lessons learned so far. Well, when going, that was last night. That was last night. That was today, I think. That one's today. That one's today. And that one's today. And it's getting too hot because the resin is going off so quick. I'm not getting to roll it out fast enough. So I'm down 1.5 tubs, 2.5 kilos each. I've still got that to go, and I've still got that one to go before I can sit there and repair all the areas that need repairing. Cutting that close on the resin. That's what I've got left in that pot. I've still got that to do, and I've got that to do. I've got 2 pots left over. Should just be enough to do that. So 10 kilograms or kilos, or whatever it was, kilos, yeah, that was about the right amount. So it was a good assessment. I'm probably going to need 8 kilo to do the walls. So yeah, it's going well. Time flies. Didn't know it was Friday today. Anyway, last panel's been done. Actually, that one didn't come out as good as the rest. Very lumpy, terrible. But that's the one that's hidden behind the cab anyway, and you can see on the wood it's actually blew out a little bit from the filler stuff I put in there, but who cares, it don't matter. There was tons of space, I made sure of that, so for this to slide onto the truck. So all we've got to do now is sand that top surface down, and then tomorrow evening when it's a bit cooler, because it's a massive space, we'll do that last piece of it. Don't bloody rain on me, basically. Morning y'all. Saturday, it's my last day on this for this week before we do an upload, and we've got left is the underside of the floor, the belly. But I'm not gonna lie, I'm pretty burnt out. I'm knackered now, and I just don't want to do anything today. I just want to sit on my ass. But if I do that, that'll mess up the video, the upload date, which is today, possibly tomorrow, and I need to waterproof it. And next week I've got other things I want to get on with. So next week, if I can afford it, I'm going to put filler primer all over it. So I'm going to leave it turned up. I'm going to trim all that up next week underneath, and then filler primer the whole thing. Then I want to clear as much of this as possible and get rid, including my mould. I don't need it no more. And then I want to get the Vegas out. Oh, shed's locked. Yeah, I want to get the Vegas out and start working on that, because he's got a Harley. One of my best friends at Norfolk has got a Harley. I'm feeling quite left out, if I'm honest, and I happen to have a Vegas that I'm not riding. So yeah, maybe we'll get it back in the shed and get the back wheel out and get that sprocket off, and visit a few engineering shops and get some quotes if they can even do it. And we'll know then if this is going to get turned into a trike or not. Vegas in there. So yeah, the covering. I've just got the door to do now. I missed that bit out. That was never mind. So it's now fully encapsulated in fiberglass, and that should last years. I will need to do the inside as well, but not with chopped strand mat. What I might do, because I'm not really sure how this interior is going at the moment, but I might just seal it all up with resin, whatever's left over, and that way I don't need to put the well, I need to put the sheet over, but I won't need to put it over as rigorously. And I think we might just do what I said, hardboard panels everywhere. Right, so we've still got one more thing to do. I just needed a break, and that's to get some covering on that door. Well, that's all of it. That's the door now done. Quite pleased with that, even though it did go a little fuzzy here. But I think I know what I'm doing wrong now. Not enough resin and being too tight, because down here I put loads on because there's a second sheet that went down. I didn't quite reach the end, and I overfilled it with resin, and as you can see it's took it up. So that is a lack of resin, not so much the bubbling that I spoke about and the fizzing. I think it is very much me being a tight arse. But here's the thing, right, it's not a boat, and that's just a weatherproofing protector. That's all it is. So I'm not going to be too upset over that, if I'm honest. So the next stage is to sand it all back, but I'll do that next week. What I am going to do this today, or later today, I'm going to get the saw out and just trim off all the areas, maybe sand those edges down the corners like there, so it's a sharp trim around that, and that's pretty much it. Right, we're all trimmed. I'll show you in a minute. What's left to do is to sand it all down. I'm not looking for perfection in smoothness, because as I keep saying, bed liner is going on this. I do need a bit of perfection on the door though. So yeah, it's just a question now of sanding it all down to a decent-ish standard, washing it, then putting some primer on, and then we can just leave it until I can bed line it. Now I may do that before I take it down the bottom of the garden, I may not, I don't know yet. Next week we'll do the sanding. I'll try and do the priming, no promises on that. What else is that? Oh, and we'll cut the steels for the two sides, left and right, and we'll put in the pop nuts at specific measurements. I'll have to write that down because I forget. And then that's it, that video can be uploaded. Then we'll do a tool review on one of the tools I bought. That video will get uploaded, and then we'll clear out all of that lot, and that video will get uploaded along with the Vegas, if I can get the Vegas out. So wish me luck. Got a busy week. We've also got the council coming out to replaster one of the bedrooms, so that's also disruption. Okay, right, I'll show you what we've done. Now it ain't perfect because the sander will finish that off, but it's a lot better than it was with all the loose tags everywhere. So yeah, this is going to be a problem now. I didn't completely glass up to that edge, so I might get the torch out and just burn that area and retouch it over with some resin or something. We'll see, but other than that, yeah, good to go. So it's just got to be sanded now. This is fully waterproof. That's the great bit about it. It's fully waterproof now. It's fully heavy as well. So there's the door. That needs sanding. I need that to be a lot smoother than the rest of it, because the aluminium trim has got to go on, and it's got to go on square, you know. I say it's got to go on. I mean, we could put it on the inside instead of the outside and put a panel on the inside to hide the reason why I got trim on there. I don't have to have it. I will need to put trim on the outside of the door frame though, because we've got raw wood. Didn't quite meet up anyway, and I wasn't worried about that. That was part of the intentions. We're going to put a step in which is going to overlap this area here and there, not a problem. This is a problem. I don't quite know why I let that go. Probably because I thought it was already glassed underneath in my head, because there's so much to do and to keep an eye on. So yeah, this is the most important part of the whole thing. This is the bit that needs to be strong, so that's the reason for it. Now the rest of it doesn't have to have anything like this if I don't want it to, so we'll assess as we go along. I could use aluminium. I do have those rolls of fiberglass down there, so I could put panels down and glue them on, but finding some strong glue, that's a bit of an issue. I haven't found any yet that can cope with the sun. We could do that. Or we could glass fibre the way we've already done, so I don't know. We'll just have to see what comes next. Anyway, on that final note, it's been 2 weeks since I uploaded. Thank you for the likes on the previous one. There's been no comments. 7 likes. The viewings are still rubbish. It does make me wonder if I should continue all of this, but anyway, look, for the ones that are watching, thank you. I'd rather have I suppose when we look at it like this, I'd rather have a few good viewers that are, you know, you lot that are up to date, whether a whole load of rabble that come in and criticise. Well, I can handle criticism, but some real hate in some people's criticism. Do you know what I mean? And that's the trouble with bigger channels. You can get some real nasty ones. So to you lot, thank you so much for sticking with me, and I'll see you next week.